Hello, 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 and welcome to another Daily Code Fun. I am One Lion, and things are all over the place today. Oh boy, um, what a fun time. So I started the stream like 1.5 minutes before I wanted to get started, which is 10:15, which is now. So I went ahead and just got started. I have a million defines. What is going on? How have you been? Oh my goodness, it's so good to see you. I hope all is well with you. Hope everything is going fantastic. All right, let's switch the screen to this one, please. Let's move these two things over here. And hello, XC110 ist cool. East cool. 1, 2. And I will get you on my screen very, very shortly. I am just moving things around. Yes, German. Cool. So it is East. Ist cool. I just don't quite know how to pronounce it. Excuse me? Dukasoff says I like to coffee. All right. I am going to time you out because that is completely unnecessary. So if you would like to continue talking in chat, please be a little bit more mindful and thoughtful about what you say. That goes over there. Up. Almost. Notepad. It's a little big. So I got my feedback from the Google recruiter who told me about how the interviews went, at least the feedback that she has. And we had a conversation about it, and it sounds like I was pretty borderline. I kind of expected that. I was hoping that I did better, or at least presented better than I did. I tried really hard to not let the nerves get to me, and yeah, I just know how it felt to me, but was still hoping for the best. But it still sounds like they are wanting to get to see if there's any interest from hiring managers that might want to talk face to face with me and see if there are any teams that they might want to see if I'm a good fit for. So that'll be sometime in the future. It also makes it a little bit easier. So once again, I'm kind of relieved that it wasn't just I blew them away, because then that would make me have to choose between continuing my current employment, which I'm kind of, oh man, I don't know what to say about my current position. I really enjoy the work. That's what I can say. But I did take a little bit of a hit to my self-confidence yesterday, and I'm struggling through it, but I will recover. Open that. So yeah, that's why I was okay with timing out ist cool. XC110 ist cool. Today. I don't really feel like dealing with that today. I don't really ever feel like dealing with that, but I do a better job of it on other days. Okay, so we were in the middle of doing the thing, doing some styling with our application. So we're just gonna burn through that. Oof, 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 oof. How are you doing today, Duke Soft? I like to coffee. I like to coffee. You like to coffee. I totally sang it wrong, but that's okay. I turned it into a jazz swing beat. I like the coffee. It was perfect. Far from it. All right. So, this is what we look like. CD into the apps. This doesn't look right. Oh my goodness. So, like, I don't know if you remember, but when I worked at the Rocky Mountain Arsenal, I had about 13 projects all ongoing at the same time, and I was able to switch between them very easily because they all have the same project structure, and I was pretty consistent. But right now, um, this project has my consistent project structure. Speaking of, gosh, thank you for showing up, Zulius. Zulius was kindly helping me last night with the bot. I broke it. Um, but I also forgot to start the bot so that we can have the commands that I disabled on Stream Elements. But anyway, so I was able to switch between the projects there. And actually, this will be a good example. Right now, I have this project that followed my normal project architecture, my project structure. Then I now have been using the same project structure, except that I've been leaving off the solution name from my projects because that has been causing the file name to be too long when it builds. And so it'll give me something like could not find file this thing that's longer than 255 characters. So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to leave off the project name because it'll be project name dot project folder, sorry, solution name dot project folder, solution or project name dot cs proj inside of bin release and then the same structure again. So removing the solution name from that 3 times saves a lot of character space. You actually have to go into the apps. So I was looking for this apps folder just then. Oops, that's the wrong place anyway. It's the API that I want to start. Okay, commands are not running yet because I also need to connect. Hello, Coding with Scott. Happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday. Okay, so the bot is started, I hope. No guarantees that it's going to work. But I broke it yesterday, and Zulius happened to be inside of my chat while I was testing it. And it all turned out that there's just some stuff that they do not tell you when you're setting everything up. Yay, it's connected. So you can see right here that I received a message from Coding with Scott. Somewhere in here it says Coding with Scott, and that it was not a command. Was it a command? With an H in there. I don't know where that H came from. And over here, I also have my chat output that is giving us the colorfulness. That is not a command. There are going to be some quirks, which are if it is a command, like my shoutouts. So shout out Defines, who hasn't streamed for a while, but still amazing person. So I'm going to go ahead and shout out. It's going to say, my bot is telling me I can't allow that because I do have the shout out command, but the command is disabled, so I still have stream elements turned on, so stream elements will still do the shout out for me. Gosh, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm always in your computer, hiding in the shadows, in the darkness, drinking coffee. Yes. So anyway, Zulius asked me, have I subscribed to the bots on log? And when I subscribed it to on log, speaking of, I need to do that for you too. Not received. Hopefully that doesn't need to rebuild. When I subscribed to the on log, I saw that the client secret that I was trying to use for the API, which now works, by the way, the client secret I was trying to use for the API. We'll check that out in a second, Dukasoft. Oh my gosh. My swing version of I like to coffee. I like to coffee. I like to coffee. Jeez. What am I trying to say? I'm gonna try this actually. Let's break this real quick. The onlog told me that the client secret that I was trying to use, which is the same client secret I used to connect to chat, is not the one that I should be using with connecting to the API. And everything broke, and it was bad news bears. Do I need to uncomment anything on leave channel? Broadcaster info. Yeah, we'll just do broadcaster ID. Broadcaster ID is going to be my method that I made above called get channel ID for e.channel. Save that. All right, let's get reconnected to chat after it rebuilds. One lion go. All right, did we get any errors? I don't see any errors. I don't know for 100% if we actually did get connected. Some tackle. We did get connected. And can it see redeems? Is what inquiring minds would like to know.
I got a bad feeling about this.
No. Yes. Wait. No, that's sound alerts joining. I don't think it actually saw the redeem. Does my Twitch pub sub know how to listen to events? On channel point reward redeemed. maybe that's not the right thing, because we would have seen this. Well, we do console right line reward redeemed. E dot get details about the reward redeemed. The redemption. CW tab. Like, how far down do you have to drill to just get the name of the reward that was redeemed? Look, a string. I like the coffee. Oh yeah, so we're supposed to watch this thingy real quick. In here. Pasta you dare. Hopefully it's not too loud. It's not going to be loud at all because it starts muted. I like the coffee. I like the coffee. I like to coffee. You could tell how much energy I have today. All right, are we still connected to chat? Yes, it did hot reload, so let's try ourselves a point redeem. Hard to tell. I wonder, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I did save. It's really, really hard to tell if this thing is actually like it's giving me pong. But that's just keeping my connection alive, I think. I don't have a clue. I don't even know what this is. What other things could we potentially hook into? Where is my sub for this? You. What other things do you have? On. Channel points reward on. Custom reward created, deleted, updated. Follow host, listen response, log, message deleted, prediction, pops up, service, reward redeemed. Hungry Hoopy. Let's go. Plus gets. Yeah, so that didn't give me anythings. Let me copy this. Oh, you can stay. Copy. And pasta. Okay, so E. Yeah, we'll just go with display name. And And when we subscribe to things, we also want to make sure to dissubscribe from them. There you go. And finale, let's move you down here and say custom reward redeemed. Why are you angry? It's obsolete. And I'm supposed to use on channel points redeemed instead. But from what I can tell, that does not seem to be giving me anything at all. So let's reconnect so that we can get resubbed. Oh, you know what? It probably is not subbing. Console right line subbing to channel points stuff or something. Save that. Okay, so we should be able to see that down here. Subbing to channel point stuff. Costume reward redeem? Yes. Is that what I actually ended up typing? Oh, no. That's sad. I wanted to type something cool like that. PubSub. I totally didn't read that wrong. Yeah, you did. I am doing a message redeem. So yeah, so when you do a message redeem, do we have something like custom reward ID? No. Do we have something like points?
Let's go.
No. So here's something that I just now noticed. Room ID is my user ID. So maybe I can get the channel ID without needing to use the API and just do this. Instead, which is chat message dot. Oh, but the problem is that we don't we wouldn't have a message by the time we join the channel. Console right line, trying to listen for reward redeems for channel, join channel ID. But first, we're going to do e.channel, parentheses, or brackets, curvy little brackets. Yeah, it kind of looks like we are actually getting something. No, I don't know what these are. I really don't know what these are. That should have restarted. It didn't. Test the thing. All right, so let's leave the channel, rejoin the channel. Trying to listen for reward redeems for channel, one line, and then this is my ID. So we really should be able to get these, unless these rewards and challenges here are not nothing. Yeah, unless those aren't actual channel point redeems. Shrugs, whatever. Point is, the chatbot will be going for chat commands. I still don't know how to get it hooked up to point redeems yet, but I will figure that out later. But the cool thing is that I am able to use the Twitch API to do stuff such as if you do this shout out command or one of these commands, yeah, like this user time online, I could probably now figure out how to use the Twitch API to get your user.timeonline information. Yeah. But I'm gonna move this over her, off to the side. Okay. Okay. So we are back here in our Wasmgasm project. .NET Watch. Server. .NET Watch. And we're going to finish this hero landing page finally. Oh yeah, I also learned today that I will be using, I will need to learn how to use, is what I should say, Selenium, because that's what we're going to be using for our UI testing. And since I'm just a UI developer with no other software skills, I just need to focus on learning that. Yes. Okay. We have our 3 cards that are going to be in here. Maybe I do want them to be able to be spaced apart a little bit easier. We'll find out. This is our hero filter, our title, our login form. Here are our cards. So we want our cards to have a height. Because, no, we're not going to do it by setting height. We're going to do it by setting the padding on header, text, and footer. Card header, card text, card footer. So notice I'm skipping body because I want the body to be the full width of the card in case any of our themes or skins use divider lines between the header content and the body content, or background colors and stuff. So we are going to scooch you over, scooch you over, and put my tabs across the top so that I have more horizontal space, and collapse this down here so that I have more vertical space. Yay! I like space. So our card header, footer, and stuff is going to have a padding left and right. I don't want to add any extra padding to the top and bottom of these. So I really want to only do padding left and right individually. And that's going to be 2 base font size because I'm going to change the size of the font in the header. Let's see what that looks like. Cool. And you can see that when this content wrapped, it made this, it made the entire row Go bigger. Hi, Captain Commerce. Great stream last night. I know that I was really quiet and I was trying to be more involved and hang out with you and do stuff, but I was busy breaking the bot and being frustrated and and slightly down on myself, but toughen through it. Almost there. Capcom. SNK or Capcom? It's a fight now. I made a ton of great progress. I'm very happy with it. Yeah, it's really cool. Make sure that you share. I don't know how you actually share the progress that you've made so far. Screenshots? But share it in Discord. We'll all get hype with you. Oh no. Oh no. I did do a thing that broke it. Crap. I am not getting messages anymore. You don't bring me flowers anymore. Where are my flowers? Oh, yeah, I am. It wasn't giving me messages for a minute, unless it was because when I did a redeem, that broke my connection. I got a bad feeling
about this.
Yeah. Oh, nope. No, it didn't. Just kidding. Just kidding. It's still getting all of the events. We're good to go. At least the chat events. Let's make the track word bigger. So we're going to change the font size to 1.4. 1.4 is not big enough. Why not just a whole 2? Beautiful. Yeah, I think 2 is too big on the left and right. That's almost there. Hey, Figma. Drink of water. Man, why does it look so much better on me? Excuse me. Why do you always do that? I hold spacebar to do the grabby hand. Okay. What is the weirdness? Yeah. Maybe it really only is 1 rem. That can't be 1 rem. That has to be more than 1 rem. Maybe it's because it's currently butted up against the hero. Let's put some spacing there real quick. Apparently I'm stuck on 2 rems today. I am stuck on 2 rems because 2 rems looks nice. There we go. Okay, so 2.4 rems from the top, less left and right. And then maybe a little bit more on the top. Oh, and the corners are a little bit more rounded on the basic card. Ooh, I don't know if I like that. Look, 2 rems between each card. Go figure. Wait, am I really making this entire... I like that better. Okay, instead of giving it a fixed width, I will just do justify content center. Even though yesterday I said I wasn't going to do it that way. Card header. We'll have a padding top 1.4. 1.2. Gosh, man, why does this look so much better? It really isn't that big. It's still less than that. Okay, try that. I need this over here. Go over here. Look. Look. Go over her. Yeah, I just think that it's too square. But that's okay, because these are cards. Cards are allowed to be square. Lies. Let's do border radius 0.6. Yeah. I wonder if I should just make all of my cards 0.6. Cool. And then maybe it would help us if we made the button look like the type of button that I want. Card footer, which is going to be display flex, which makes the button take up the entire width with 100%, which makes the button take up the entire width. Button, are you inside of another wrapper or something? No, it's just a button. Look, it's just a button. I can't get back to my this that I made it back to. Why? That doesn't make sense. 1,100%. That's right. Okay, so that gets 100%. We'll give you a padding bottom 0.6. That's looking better. Okay, so oh man, the difference between my current button and the design is that these things have more rounded corners than what I'm giving them in the application. And they're taller and they are bold. So font, nope, padding. Let's just start big. Start big and then go home. Okay, I'm liking that. And then Whoa. A little too much. What? What? That's really weird. I don't know. Wakarimasen desu. And why aren't my buttons like normal hover cursor? I don't remember taking off hover cursor from buttons. Ever. Ever. Hover, cursor, pointer, background color, bar, button, hover, background color. Exactly what I want to create. Define said, thanks. So Stream Elements is doing the cycle shoutouts. And so Defines was like, thanks, I'll stream again someday. Someday. Your lunch and learns were so much fun. I wasn't able to participate in them. Man, I miss them. Do it. Just do it. Uh, what am I looking for? Oh man, I am super distracted today and not in the kind of wiry all over the place kind of distracted. I'm stuck on a thought, which doesn't really happen, but it's been happening a lot lately. Isn't there a SAS function for darken? I need to remember how to do darken. Let's look that up really quick. SAS. Darken. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Okay, so we can do color.adjust according to this. Darken. Darken color amount. So yeah, it is darken. And how do we actually do it? Like, do you have any examples at all of what happened? That was really weird. I'm not exactly sure what I just heard. FFF darken a lot. Bang important. I was looking for a code sample, but I can't seem to find that. Use color scale instead. Okay, show me how to use color scale. Darken. More. More. Oh, dang it. Just take me back up here. This one? Okay, so color scale. I don't understand what they're showing like, here's the name of this method. It's color scale. What you should do is color.adjust. Oh wait, that's a C also. Okay, color.scale. Var light, lightness, 0.8. Whoa! Too much? I, what kind of parameter are you looking for? For lightness? Minus. Perfect. I need a minus some amount. Minus 5%, let's say. Okay, what do we got here? What is it gonna, are we gonna, no, help. You know what? You know what? I'm gonna cheat. I am going to cheat because I am too lazy for this and oh man. Hover foreground. All right, so I'm just swapping the foreground color and the background color on hover. There. Right. And my outline style. Outline radius. There is no outline radius. How am I supposed to change my outline radius? Screw that. I'm gonna go with that so that we can move on. Lazy cheater. Thank you, Tyron. Call me Gaius. I can't do this with a full bottle. I was voicing Gaius the other day. Oh yeah, my outline color is currently pink though, isn't it? Oh no, it's that aqua blue. Bang whiskey. I've been drinking water, Dukasoft. I've been drinking water. Drink more. Okay, so I'm happy with that. And then the only thing that's usually left on a normal landing page is a footer. Uh, Excuse me, why aren't you taking me to the... Okay, and then the footer is probably something that we can, well, no, I only want this really on the landing page. Although normally you would have a sitemap just about everywhere. So I don't know, even on the data entry forms, we might need the sitemap. I'll make it here, and then we can decide whether we want to just add it to the um, main layout as a separate component. Captain Converse is beer. Drink beer. Don't worry, you'll be able to add your command soon. As soon as I figure out how to get my bot to listen to these redeems, and then to be able to have the redeems kick something off. So like what I'm anticipating happening with that, by the way, is you will do bang command or bang add command or something, and it will hold your redeem in the queue for redeems, but it'll walk you through. You can either say what is the command. He'll talk with you. He'll have a conversation. What is the command that you want to add? And then he'll validate that it doesn't already exist. Um, or if it does exist by you, it will add command, add command. Clever. If it was created by you, then it'll ask, do you want to overwrite your existing one? Do you want to edit your existing one? And then it will either say, okay, go to this code share site or CS Fiddle or something, and then type out your command, and then it'll read in your C# code after it makes sure that it builds and everything. Or Stack Overflow tattoo. And like what I would really like is just some kind of editor that gives you access to the objects that I would have in my code. So the Twitch API, the Twitch pub sub, and the Twitch client, and my Signal R. And then you would write the code for it. So I'm not as cool as InstaFluff with chat blocks where you can just use a drag and drop interface and it creates the code for you. This is more kind of like programmer based, I guess. You add command and write the actual logic for it. And then it'll still hold it until I review it, because of course I don't want anything that is going to violate terms of service, etc. But as soon as it gets approved, then I will make it take your points and then all of that stuff. Add command format C : /y. It's running in a browser sandbox, so it has no access to my hard drive. And then it'll be like, we'll gain access to your user secrets and say, whenever we do this command, show user secrets, like the client secret. Anyway, we have our sections. Now I need my footer, and my footer is going to take up the bottom part of the page. Did I only do padding top? I'm pretty sure I put padding all around. So then my footer is going to have content, but first my footer needs to be styled. Footer. Sure. Let's see what it does. Close. Okay, Captain Commerce. I hope you enjoy your lunch. Enjoy the munch. Okay, so what do you normally have in a footer? Stuff. So the background is going to be var footer background color, which we will define as footer background color. It's not going to be primary background color. It's going to be, so I didn't actually design this. Did I close my Figma? No, I moved it so that I could see it. What colors do we have? I know how to grab the right window. Listen, look and listen. I know what I'm doing. SQL drop tables. Let's go with this color that I haven't used anywhere else on this page. Introducing new colors. Isn't that how we're supposed to do this? Okay. So this needs to take up what I am thinking in my brains right now is, let's say that this really was the height of my footer. I would want this to stick to the bottom of the page, but to be able to expand beyond the bottom of it as well. You have mail. Okay. So if this was the height of my footer and I want my footer to stick to the bottom when I don't have enough content to push it down to the bottom, that almost sounds like position sticky. With my top sticking at 100 VH minus 100%. Except that I lost my scroll bar when I was messing around with my overflows. My index page needs to be overt flow. No? Still no? Oh no. Please don't make me struggle with scroll bars. Ooh, no. I'm looking for main layout, please. That's not where I want my overflow though. My overflow needs to be on my main content only. And main content is index.razor. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not. It's not. Okay, that's better. So now I need to know, how do I make sure that this thing gets pushed down to the very bottom? Great. So I should be able to have the bottom positioned at 0. Index razor. Dang, except that my page is not, oh, there it goes. Okay. So then if I make my page then position relative, relative, and set my position absolute, and had it positioned with a width of 100% and a bottom of 0. But the problem is that I want it to stop by the time it gets to this thing. And also I'm getting a horizontal scroll bar because of it. So that's not quite what I'm trying to do. And I think it's because I have a padding, perhaps, perhaps no. Nope. Okay, so not this. Man. Um, okay, so I have one last ditch effort for this, which is to do display grid, grid template rows, auto, auto, remaining space. And for this footer, I will have justify self flex end, not justify align, align. There it goes. Okay, so now it will grow upwards, but it will go no further up than the padding between this area. Oh, that's perfect. That is the effect that I wanted. Yay! And if we increase the height of it, so I don't think I need this at the moment. I don't need it to be display flex. If we increase the height of our footer to, let's say, 200 pixels or something, then once again, it's going to grow from the bottom of the page. So even if this thing were able to get tall, excuse me, tall enough to make this thing expand, then the space between this and this, oh, you know what the easier way to do that is? Instead of align self flex end, is to have the content take up one free space and the footer to take up auto. Whoops. If footer grows, does it become a header? No, it becomes big footer. Big footer. Big. Oh dear. Okay, so there we go. We have our main content that is the thing that's allowed to grow and shrink, and then everything else around it will be whatever height it happens to be. Perfect. So you get rid of these placeholder colors, por favor. When a footer grows, it becomes a yarder, obviously. I thought that's when it multiplies. Okay, so we have our sections, and let's add content to our footer. I really don't know what to put in a footer for a site like this. I feel like we should have sections that are like class header. Actually, you know what? Sections can have headers too. No, they can't. Header cannot be nested inside of a footer. Fantastic. All right, so we're going to have a header that's like, what are some things that you put in here? You put like the actual functions. So like data entry, UL, LI, payment entry, deposit entry, transfer. Just do payment, deposit, transfer. And then we have another section for about 1 million. Actually, I want it to look somewhat official. About automated realms. Core values. Contact us. Okay, so then our footer will be something like display flex that I deleted. With a gap between the two sections. Wow, that's cool though. Oh, no, it's not. I get it. So there'll be some kind of footer stuff down here, and then the contact us link and stuff like that. Maybe a padding bottom to... Wait, no. Padding bottom should be fine. It's just that we need to scroll to see that padding. Cool. Okay, so we have the basis of an overall page and stuff. It's Mutlangi. Mutlangi? I've already forgot. Muklangi. The T sounds like a C. Muklangi. Muklangi. The other thing that I'm going to do for myself is, I think I told you guys, but I keep notes every now and then. Like basic notes. When did I first see you? Have you told me how to pronounce your name? Have you given me any actual information? So what I'm thinking of doing is making it so that I can click on your name in here and see my notes. The database is already primed for that. So that's going to be easy for me eventually. So I can be like, how do you pronounce this? Yeah, I'm a clunky. Okay, so anyway, we're getting there. Uh, we can make this look more like a footer later. That seems a little too bright. Just make it a little bit darker though. Take me to root. MMOs. You should know. You should know this. Every mage class should get root. Dang it. Okay, so let's mock the sign in and have it take us to the actually, you know what? Let's just use this down here. Let's use this as a link and make that take us somewhere. So yeah, since I'm going to be using this to navigate everywhere for now. No, just kidding. Payment entry, I think. Is that what we called it? Does anyone remember? It's been years since I wrote HTML, CSS, and VS. For a sec, I thought it was no longer possible. I enjoy the process. I really do. I did find out that I am, as long as someone else designs it, I really, really enjoy doing HTML, CSS in Blazor and making all of the pretty things happen on screen. But disfortunately, I designed this, and so it doesn't look as good as it could. It doesn't look nearly as good as it could. But we're going to do our best to make it look pretty good. So I'm going to make these buttons up here. Oh yeah, right. I need to add, oh dang it, there's still one thing left to do. I need to add the little glow on these cards specifically. That's going to be slightly different than the glow on the cards in other places. The shadow on the cards in other places. So that is going to look like my card is going to have a box shadow of, I think we did it at 4 pixels over and down with a feather of 8 pixels, and we're going to make it a bright shadow. RGBA 255 255 255.2 or 0.3. So now I guess is when we can toy around with seeing what the actual pneumorphic design would look like. So to do that, we pick a light source. And so our light source here would be coming from the top left. So let's do a box shadow of top left. And I think that there was a way that you can add a second box shadow. And then this would be our background color. Which I need to be able to do operations on, which means that I need man. Maybe we can still do it. Let's do color. now that we have this in our bag of tricks, color.adjust, and we'll use our primary background color. What is it called? Primary background color. And we will lighten it 5%. And one more. That's it. Nope. $ lighten. Hello. And we're missing a semicolon. Where in Copilot, no. There is no module with the namespace color. Scale. So yeah, I don't want to mess with that at the moment. Let's just keep this like this. And we'll maybe have it just be less. Yeah, just something light, something not very abrasive. And then border color is okay, so I think my default border color is really, really light, and I want it to be slightly darker. I just don't have any good ways to change this border color to the darker version. So I'm just going to use another one. There we go. Okay, so moving on to this page. Added basic styling to hero. Commit local. I thought I had more in there. Okay, so we have some buttons to add to the top of this that are going to be our way to switch between the types of entry forms that we're looking at. So let's go ahead and add that. Let's get rid of our index page. That way I don't get tempted to keep working on it. Get rid of you. Get rid of you. You. And you. And you. Keep you. Thank you so much for the follow. I can't read your name from here. You know what? I can't even see who you are. Hold on one second. Okay. Is that enhance? Is that Gabriel or is it Gabrielle? Barry. Barry. It's so weird. Humans are weird, you know? Thank you, Dukasoft. I will introduce myself in like 13 hours. Soon as I get situated again. You there. And pasta. And today is 2022-08-23. Save. President Not Sure is also here. When did I not say hello to you, President Not Sure? How long has it been? President Not Sure says it's pronounced Dumas, not dumbass. It could be. Could be. Will I be launching this app? Probably, sure. I mean, it'll be open source. It is currently open source. So if you want to take a look at the progress we've made so far, it is on my GitHub /OneLion, repositories, financial management. It has all of the information about what we want the project to do, a link to the YouTube channel so you can see all of the work that we've done up until now, which is very sparse, like an hour ago. So I really do a lot more talking with you guys than I do coding, and I have not gone through and edited out all of the fluff, but I really want to. And they're probably going to end up being 2 to 5 minute videos of actual content that I can squish together. You can absolutely contribute. Right now we're following this design that I have not shared the design yet, although I need to. Where did Figma go? Where? There you are. So I'm trying to follow this design first. So give me a minute to flesh this out a little bit more before contributing, because as soon as you start contributing, it's going to be, look over here, we need to do this. Look over here, we need to do this. And it's like I'm trying to go in a specific direction, which is doing all of the UI design first and sketching out the models and adding models that we might need, and then adding the backend functionality using test-driven development. Something else that I'm starting to need to learn now, though, is doing UI testing with a library like Selenium. I really would prefer to use BUnit, but the team that I'm working with at my job wants to use Selenium, and I'm like, I'm making a Blazor project. It would make sense for me to test the UI using a Blazor library like BUnit. But I hear Selenium is really good, so it's not like I'm complaining about Selenium or anything. Not at all. Nope. You're going to get a header. You're going to have I'm going to make this a UL, I think. We'll figure out. Class equals payment tabs, not payment tabs, data entry tabs, page tabs, form tabs. Selenium is a fairly standard web UI testing tool. Yeah. But it'd be cool if we could get BUnit to be our go-to web testing tool for Blazor applications. Because you're writing your tests using Blazor, you're writing your logic using Blazor. I don't know how Selenium is going to work with Blazor, because I'll feed it the app. It's something about like connecting via port, some other port, and then it will just try to control your app that way and wait for things to render and then read the DOM. It's like a ghost. Why is it like a ghost? What are you doing? Air quotes. Yeah. So it sends events to your application by finding controls, clicking on them, or interacting with them in whatever way it interacts with them, and then checks for expected output or expected actions. So navigate action, um, causes a pop-up to happen, kind of thing. So why not just have a .NET application? So I think we have a BUnit project in here, because not only do you get the BUnit testing library, but you also get an XUnit, because BUnit is based on, well, BUnit is based on whichever testing framework you want to use, but I'm using XUnit. So I could have one folder for UI testing and then another folder for business logic testing. And they can exist in the same testing library so that I could have all of my UI tests inside of my little test whatever. And I really don't know how Selenium outputs any test errors. So I need to do research into it and figure out how Selenium works. Okay, so we have a button, and this is going to be tab button for payments. And then we're going to have a button for deposits and a button for, I should just look at this. I'm trying to remember this off the top of my head, and everyone knows how good my memory is. Transfers. Okay, so there you are. Also research the page object pattern. I will put that in my notes of, and is that part of Selenium? Is it a pattern that you would use in combination with Selenium? Okay, in combination with. So like right now, my component library, anything that I use for my UI follows a pretty general pattern, the same pattern, which is for any one of my components, they have a wrapper that is the component name as a class. So for example, my card component, my card component, ah, my card component has a base class of card. It would be something more unique if we were using this as a component library component. It would be like my component library prefix dash card, and then everything would have this component library prefix. But since it's just being used for this app only, then it's getting card. And that's going to be the main wrapper of it, so that when I target this, I know that I can target any card by using .card. Then if needed, I could have additional attributes so that I can add stuff like an ID that can be controlled while testing. So that would look like parameter capture unmatched values, and that will be a dictionary of string object question man. attributes. So this will be any additional attributes that I have not specified here before, unless I want to make sure that I overwrite it. So I kind of do with this. I want to make sure that my defined class attribute is the one that gets applied, so that even if the user does specify their own class attribute, it'll just ignore it, because it will apply these attributes from left to right, if I recall correctly. So anyway, they all follow that, where each of my components starts with a wrapper that I can identify that specific component with, or type of component, I guess. And then, like for my pages, for example, which were on a page, I wrap it inside of a .page content, and normally I would put index page as a class. But now, thinking about it more from the perspective of doing UI testing, I would give it an ID of index page or something, so that I can more easily target the root component of my page, or the root element of my page component. So President Husher is explaining that the page object pattern is a way to abstract the details of the testing tool. So it's a QA testing pattern, and then in combination with Selenium would be a way that you could use the page object pattern. And President Nasher also said it's a way to separate the details of how the test tool works from the structure of your app. So in the test code, you just instantiate the page and call methods on that. So yeah, I instantiate my page. So in BUnit, you can actually say create component or whatever the thing is, and then it creates the actual page component, and it does all of the dependency injection with your testing libraries mocking dependencies, which is awesome. And then it'll render the page, and then you select stuff by CSS selectors, and you say find a button on this page called this. When it clicks, the content should change to whatever the other content is. Oops, I think this should be an article. Okay, so I have my 3 buttons. Why is this still affecting my button? Because on hover, right? Okay, so I'm gonna try to style my buttons to look like, all right, and I'm gonna mock this for now, or active. I'm gonna mock this for now, but this is going to be based off of what page are we actually on. That will determine which of our data entry forms we're looking at. And which means these are all probably going to get the same route of like entry / and then it'll take the entry type, which I will make an enum. That'll be one of these 3 pages or data entry page types, so that we can just bind to that. We can use the URL route to get between tabs, so that when we navigate directly there, we're directly on that tab. So we'll get there. For now, let's mock this so that we can styling. Payment entry. Oops, I just did that backwards. Payment entry is going to have a payment entry.razor.sass, and that will compile in place so that we get our isolated CSS files here. Bang, Mach 1.1's code. Absolutely. You don't use the Selenium WebDriver commands in your test methods. All that ID selecting, etc., are in the page classes. So there is an actual page class of some sort. I mean, we get that with Blazor. So yeah, it's going to be really difficult for me to separate your basic HTML structure that is going to have some sort of class that represents it from the actual Razor component that gets compiled into a C# class that then gets translated through the component model, component, whatever it's called, into HTML. So yeah, so here is our payment entry. Why are you are called payment page. So now if I wanted to, I could start everything from a root of payment page to make it easier to target. And we can find our data entry tabs inside of header. And we can say our list style type, list style will be none, no dots. Our padding, margin. Okay, so I do actually need to restart the app in order for this isolated CSS file to apply, because even if I let it rebuild and rerun, it usually requires a full restart of the application in order to see the styles actually apply. But those styles applied, so I thought it was going to make me a liar, and it did. Great. This page is also going to be display grid. If you couldn't tell, I really, really like grid because it allows you to style the page however you want. Why? Why did you make my styles go away? Berto. Yeah, I'm not gonna mess with it. Let's just stop and restart and hope that that's what the issue is. Oh, crap, I shouldn't have clicked. Close. F12. Yeah, and since you can make the screen so wide, maybe it would be better if we gave it a maximum width. Yeah, that'll be interesting to find out. Especially for people on ultra wides that really, really, really love to stretch the boundaries of their browser just to see how they can break pages. Anyway, display grid, we need to make it back to that page. Let's reopen this. All right, so I'm making it display grid because I know that on this page, I'm gonna have my header section, my main content data entry section, and my data grid stuff, which is probably going to end up being a component, but this is going to be my transaction history. Yeah, so we'll do 3 sections or three rows. Okay, data entry tab. So you guys will pretty please need to be display flex. What even? That confused me. And we'll give you guys a gap. Nope, we'll give you guys a gap. We'll also give this entire header portion a padding. And as we know, we're going to have a way to indicate that one of these buttons is active. And that active one has a background color of var active tab button background. Great. And we can see that it applied only to that first button so far. And since this thing doesn't have a color, it defaulted to transparent. So let's create a color for this. And that color is this beautiful orange color, which is this one. Active button foreground. Yum! I will have something to eat eventually. I can't guarantee that though. All right. And does that look anywhere close yet? Yes, it does. So now our border color. Wait. Oh, I didn't actually apply my foreground color yet. Color. Save. Oh, that looks so Windows 95. Yes. Doing amazing. This styling stuff is easy. Border none. I hear Dan Roth. And Eagle is in there. What are you guys talking about? Blazor and .NET 7. Oh, cool. Cool stuff. You need to go up here. And you can go down here. If you guys didn't know, Dan Roth and a panel of others are currently talking about Blazor and .NET 7 on the current community stand-up in the Visual Studio channel. Not that I want you to leave my channel or anything. I am going to be finishing in about 15 minutes anyway, but I also don't want you to miss out on this fantastic information that they have. You could always go back and watch my videos or their videos. Doesn't matter. They post their videos too. But if you want to actively ask questions about this, strongly encourage. Okay, Dukasoft, I'll see you the next time. Yeah, I don't get offended by that because it definitely makes sense. Not Porter. Too big. Cool. We're going to give you a specific width so that they all look the same. Great. And now you all get the same two-sided drop shadow. So this is where we're going to find out whether we can do the two different box shadows, or if it's supposed to be done with like a comma. See, you were showing me the thing that I wanted, and then you give me initial when I hit tab. So this is to the right and down, and it's going to have a glow of 4, and it's going to be slightly darker, or slightly more opaque than the box shadow that is going to be up and left. Oh, and they're not supposed to be black. They're supposed to be white so that we can see the glow. And I'm not seeing the shadow apply to them at all, which is weird because we're seeing everything else apply. Border 9. So maybe it is a comma. Yeah. Okay. So compared to this, oh, I see. So I'm supposed to invert the button colors in order to make that look nice and clean. Okay, so now we can see a bigger difference between this shadow from the top left and bottom right. And we're going to increase the distance. I really don't like that, but that's okay. Cool. They are going to keep their outline because, for accessibility reasons, you shouldn't ever get rid of the outline on buttons or selectable fields, links, etc. That way you know where you are tabbing to. So anyway, we're getting close. At least we're matching the design. This is what the buttons look like in the design, so that's not terrible. We're kind of close. I'm not gonna say whether it's a good thing or not, but hey, we're doing it. Let's go ahead and change you to 4 as well, and you to 6. There we go. Nope. We're just feathering it more. Something. That's gonna be a neon glow. It will. We're gonna make this like all red light district soon enough. It'll be great. We'll make everyone want to use this to track their finances. They will get dopamine hits everywhere, all the time. It'll be great. So now that that's done, we need to style our actual payment entry form. So the left edge, I want to line up with the buttons. And I want the buttons to be into the page a little bit more. So the easiest way to do that would be to give it a padding left and right, and to give every header and article, not even every article. It's only going to be this this data entry article. That's going to have the same padding. Is that not what I called you? It's a section. Cool. And this enter payment details is going to get bigger. So we're going to give that, instead of making it a H1 and trying to modify that, we're just going to make it a Kiera. Oh, but I don't want to do that because it's taking header from up there. So we'll just make it span class title. Spanned class title. And our span class title will have a font size of 1.8, massive, font weight bold, beautiful, margin bottom, excellent. No, where's my margin? Display blocks. There you go. Now you have a margin bottom. Cool. And for every, I'm pretty sure I called it form group, they're going to be display flex so that they're all side by side. So that they're all side by form group inside of my data entry. Oh, is that what I was going to do? So I was trying to decide whether to make all of my form groups. Yeah, so my form groups are actually going to be stacked on top of each other, label then input box, the way that they currently look. Which means that in order to position them, I need to style this as most likely a grid. Okay, so one thing that no, because form group is already styled. Form group is already styled with display flex in my global styles. Yeah, in my normal app.css. Duh. I don't need to overwrite that. The thing that I do need to overwrite is what they look like on this page. So this is going to be display grid. No, it's not. The form is going to be display grid. Form, which I will put as my class data entry form. Perfect. This is the thing that's going to be display grid eventually. And I think, so there are two approaches that we can do with this that I can think of off the top of my head. There are most likely more. But the two approaches when making this data entry form, display grid, why isn't that one applying? So I was expecting that one to apply immediately though. Section, data entry, form. Oh, because we are now inside of a child component. There we go. Okay, so that gives me everything stacked on top of each other. So I can specify the overall number of rows and columns, and then tell each of these individual sections how much space to take up. So this thing would be row span grid row 1, and then column grid column 1 space /3, and then the next one would be like 4 through 6 or something. I don't know, 3 through 6. So yeah, that's what we can do with that. Or we can specify a grid template areas. So we could either do grid template columns and say repeat 1 FR, I don't know, normal grid that you would see in something like Bootstrap or Material, a 12 column grid. And so if we look at this, and for now, let's just set all of our .form groups. Why aren't we seeing the vertical column lines? Oh, because we only have stuff in column 1, right? So let's say that all form groups, just for now, have a grid column of 1 through 13, or to -1. That works too. Thank you, IntelliCode or Copilot, whichever one of you that happen to be. Oops, this goes inside of this. Why isn't that one taking effect? Form group. It is. Why am I not seeing my vertical columns? What happens if I did 13? Yeah, okay, so that's what I thought. 1/-1 is supposed to give you from the first column line through the last column line. And I don't know why it didn't. This one will give you from the first column line until the 13th column line. And so we're looking at everything by column line, not by the actual column itself. So this is column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then 13 is the line after it. So there are 13 total column lines, and that's how you specify your grid row span, column span, and row span too. But I was expecting the 1/-1 to work. So this is just essentially saying, what if we had every single form group take up the entire width? But we don't want that. So the easier thing to do would be, what if we had them all take up, so an nth of type, and then we just do 2n minus 1 to start at the beginning. We'll take up. So this will be every other one is going to take up the full width, but I really only wanted to take up half of it. And then the other set of form groups, which would just be 2n, will start from 6 and go through 13. So that's weird though, because I don't see what's happening to some of these. Yeah, like you and you. So that's one approach though. So you can see where we would just continue setting up all of these styles so that the individual form groups take up the right amount of horizontal space. But the alternative to this is what I'm preferring. I was trying that one out because it was the one that I didn't prefer, to see if maybe it was going to be easier to do that. But I prefer grid template areas. And that simply looks like, what exactly do we want this to look like? And so I want the transaction date to be in the first column, and then payee to be in the second column of the first row. And it's almost looking like I'm going to have, at least according to our design, 4 total possible rows across, maybe 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's say that there are 5 rows across. And so that means that transaction date will take up 3. Transaction date, transaction date, transaction date. Pay 2 is going to take up 1, 2, 3. Wait a minute. Are there 6 rows across? 1. No. I'm trying to count the gap as a row. That's what's happening. So this one should only take up 2, and then pay 2 will take up 3. Okay, which is 1, 2, 3. The gaps are all going to be the same. So we will have a grid gap of 1 rem, which is already there. Why do we have list style on here? So I'm going to get rid of this. Then we're going to have in the next row memo taking up the entire row. This is really hard to get to cooperate. Memo, 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 memo. Then for the next row, we will have line item taking up 1 column, details taking up 2 columns, amount 1 and add button 1. Line item, details, details, amount, add button. Oh, this is why it's probably better to use actual names. It's just I like being able to see it laid out right here. The next one will be this entire line item display. Oh, this one's going to be hard. There. Good. And then we would finish it out with the last 2, post a date taking up 1, 2, and then account taking up the remaining. Post a date, account, account, account. All right, and the only thing remaining for us to do in order to get it to actually look like this would be to assign every single one of these form groups and whatever other things we have, like this button or this detailed stuff, with a grid area. So I do want to show that before I quit for the day, but I really do need to quit because I have a meeting. So let's just do the whatever this one was called over here. Payment entry, the line item type. Here we go. So we're going to give, except that our detail entry is in its own section. Oh, I don't like that. But anyway, line item input is what I'm going to call this. And again, you could do this with IDs or classes, but our line item input is going to be grid area li. And I hate it when it does this. It's like I still want to see all of these, so please don't put them all on the same line when I format or when you auto format. So what that'll do though is this will put, when I have it the structure done correctly, This will make sure that the line item entry, line item input, will be positioned right here underneath my full line memo. So I guess we can do memo real quick. Memo input, and that'll be grid area. And all we should have to do is give this form group memo input. And so now we can see, well, we can kind of see it happening where memo finds the first row where it can take up all of the spaces. No, bad timing, Thindle. I mean, good timing, but bad timing. I am quitting as well. So instead, you guys are going to go over to the Visual Studio channel because I'm going to make you watch more Blazor. I'm going to go ahead and set up the raid now because I have to get to my meeting. But thank you so much for the raid. I really do appreciate you. If you guys don't know Thindle, he's an amazing developer as well. Even better than me. He's currently working on modernizing an application, going from .NET Framework to .NET Core eventually, going from old MVC all the way up through Blazor, or Web Forms, MVC, Blazor. At least that sounds like it's what the plan is. But yeah, I need to get to my meeting. I'll be hanging out in the Discord voice channel after the stream. Feel free to check out the YouTube videos that get published after 24 hours after the stream so that I don't violate the terms of service user agreement thing. But yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. We're going to get this project done. It's looking good. It's coming along. Follow along with it on our GitHub. And join us again tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time. I stream every weekday at 10:30 a.m. MDT, UTC -6 currently, until daylight savings, UTC -7 at that point in time. Okay, bye from me for now.